by the Emperor's Golden Toilet. We finally got a new Space Marine 2 trailer, and I am so excited. Enemies of the Emperor, beware, for his angels are here. We open up in the Strategium of the hive city of Fervastum, whatever. I really loved Darktide, and I'm getting a very similar vibe. A couple of key details, if we slow down and look at the text on the screen, is that the city itself is garrisoned by the Cadian 8th. Cadia stands, brothers! We also see some strategic threat assessments. We are confirming that the Hive Fleet that wants to munch on our biomass is indeed Hive Fleet Leviathan. Wasn't too much of a stretch to figure out that one, since the 10th edition box set was for Leviathan. There was a book. Totally makes sense. We see Titus barking orders to his quartermaster, and we can see that our Blueberry brothers are stretched incredibly thin. We don't know the deployed strength of the Ultramarine chapter on Fervastium, but I anticipate that we could see a full chapter deployment. I'm so excited and anxious to see what this Hive City is producing for the Imperial War Machine. Whatever it is, it's clearly worth the attention of Lieutenant Titus. We also know that we will be playing as his reinforcements. It's unclear if Titus will be a playable character or not. Hit us with a like and follow so we can keep you up to date on any campaign details we find out. Shortly after, we see Lieutenant Titus walk through a very Zinchi looking shrine. From previous trailers, we know that the elite big bad in this game will be the sorcerers of Magnus the Red, the Thousand Sons. They are one of my favorite legions, and I'm so excited to see them on the screen and then kick their faces in. Similar to the first game, the Tyranids are to the Orcs as the Thousand Sons are to the Chaos Space Marines you fight in the first installment of the game. Space Marine 1 came out in 2011, so if you played the first game, make sure you're stretching every day. More than anything else in the trailer, we see some of the coolest armor in a Warhammer game to date. I am not exaggerating when I think that this will be the greatest Warhammer video game of all time. It has the potential to be so great, and with the delays they've had in production we have seen so far, I think we're in for a real treat. They've taken their time and they're gonna deliver a quality product. Let's talk tactical kickassery. There are so many melee options available, and this is going to be a massive part of the game. We see the Thunderhammer, the Power Sword, the Chain Sword, the Knife, which I put in very heavy quotations, and one option that I'm particularly excited about is the Power Fist. Melee looks like it's going to be a huge component in the multiplayer as well, and I will shriek if we get the options like the Man Reaper or like the Chain Axe or like demon possessed weapons like whips as this game evolves if you're playing on the Chaos side. Not to be outdone, the ranged options look just as amazing. We see many variants of bolters, and they look very punchy. We have to talk about the level of customization as well. Customization available for the Space Marine's signature weapon. Example, you can take a standard issue bolter from all the way up through Master Crafted, Artificer, and Relic. I counted 7 different options for the bolter, and each one of those has multiple options and rarities for that bolter option. Plus, we see multiple kinds of plasma offerings, heavy weapons, and Melta. This game is not going to be lacking for amazing and diverse firepower. Customization does not stop there. In the co-op player versus enemy mode, or PvE, there are multiple classes you can choose from, and they look amazing. I can't believe how in-depth this game is looking so far. It is blowing me away. The classes are as follows. They go Tactical, Assault, Vanguard, Bulwark, Sniper, and Heavy. Honestly, blink and you miss it, but there's so much to choose from, and each class comes with a skill tree with 24 different items to spec into. I cannot wait to do some theory crafting for each of these classes. You will be able to play as really any of your favorite Space Marine archetypes, so if you have a favorite miniature on the tabletop, you'll be able to play as them in this game, whether that is a ranged or assault intercessor, a jump marine, an eradicator, eliminator, incurser, infiltrator, vanguard veteran, blade guard, you name it. It's all there. Not only that, but we will be able to customize our armor in the heraldry of other chapters. We see the vanilla Ultramarines reinforced with Marines of the Imperial Fists, Dark Angels, and White Scars. Now, this is a little bit of a criticism, but if you actually look closely at some of those armors, you can see that the Sigma of the Ultramarines chapter is still present on some of like the kneecaps or the pauldrons of these other chapters. It really feels like the armor is painted over more than it's the actual skins from the other chapters. And maybe this is just a placeholder. Maybe they're just starting with the Ultramarine art style and just change the outer color, and by the time the game actually releases, we'll get actual Dark Angels heraldry, for example. That is to be determined. I can't say much for the story itself, but we know the presence of chaos and terminids on this planet. Now, from a lore perspective, it is interesting that the Thousand Sons would pick a world under the claw of a Tyranid hive fleet, given their immense shadow and the warp effect. I can't imagine that the K-Sons would do super well cut off from their powers unless they had ways to circumvent that shadow in the warp. Now, another criticism I have is that this is only a 3-player co-op game. This is sort of a criticism, sort of not. It seems a little arbitrary, and we haven't really gotten a reason as to why they chose 3 and not, say, the more standard 4-player. I will say most games nowadays don't have a co-op campaign at all, and I should be maybe a little bit more grateful that it is an option and is not going to come out, say, a year after the fact. Halo Infinite. As far as enemy types, we really only see a Rubric Marine or 2 and a Hellbrute. Brace yourselves, because I think we will see the warp taint of blue and pink horrors, sorcerers, infernal masters, and I think maybe if we ask really nicely, maybe an appearance by Ahriman or even Magnus. Let's be honest though, if Magnus showed up in this game, Titus is just a little baby and compared to that of a demon Primarch. He wouldn't last a second, but we shall see. It'd be nice if we saw maybe just a quick cameo of him. Multiplayer is a little bit of change from the last game. In Space Marine 1, players joined teams of 8 and battled against each other. However, in the sequel, we will see a 6v6 combat. Personally, I would love to see a big team battle mode where you got to live out the glorious epics written about in the times of the heresy, but I know that's probably more of a pipe dream. Each team will be manned by Space Marines from Traitor and Loyalist legions / chapters. In the trailer, we see the Plague Marines of the Death Guard, the Legionnaires of the Alpha Legion, and the Coronate Berserkers of the World Eaters, who, for some reason, is shooting a bolter and not screaming at the top of his lung. Let's talk pre-order here. There's a big disclaimer. So a big benefit of the pre-order options is that you get the game 4 days early. Early unlock is not guaranteed for those of you who are in Canada. I do not know why. That is just what it says on the Focus Entertainment website, so please read the fine print carefully. The pricing for this game also is all over the place. It looks like console players may have to pay a slightly higher price than those who are on Steam. Standard edition of the game on Steam is $60, while on console it's actually $70. That feels a little odd that those prices wouldn't be the same. Additionally, console players have options to pick up the gold version of the game for $100, which gives you things like epic armor. It gives you the 4-day early unlock. It gives you a season pass. It gives you something called the McCrag Chosen DLC. That's that epic armor that I was talking about. And this is literally just a weapon skin. There is no tactical advantage to buying the gold edition, but if you want it, I guess that's up to you. Personally, I don't pre-order games. I've been hurt too many times by too many IPs to pre-order a game. I'm just going to wait till the day it comes out. Additionally, for PC players, this is an option that is only available to PC players. It's called Ultra. It comes with all of those things, plus it comes with what's called the Ultramarines Champion Pack. That will actually run you $100 and is only available on PC. Now, the gold version on PC, I think, is $80 or $90, and on console, it's actually $100. Finally, we see the collector's edition. This comes with that cool bust of Lieutenant Titus killing a Terminid. Sorry, a Terminid. This is not Helldivers, a Tyranid, and that's going to ring you up $250. That being said, there's a lot to look forward to, and Nathan and I will be streaming this over on our Twitch channel. At the time of this release, we are collecting entries for our lightsaber giveaway, so if you want the chance for a combat-capable lightsaber, follow the link in our bio or follow our Twitch. We stream a ton over there, and sometimes we even do live podcast recordings as well. We always seem to have a great time, so we really, really look forward to you guys being there. And as always, the Emperor protects.